Dear Aleksandar, welcome back to Iași. If I remember correctly, you were here last year in October,
yes.
Right? What has brought you here this time is the Quo Vadis International Film Festival. So how did you receive the news that in Iași there was going to be such an international film festival, and what has prompted you to participate?
I have to be honest that I was a bit of an insider in a way, because last year when premiere of my film Across in a Desert was in Iași, I met with wonderful Mr. Katalin Jekyll, and we were in touch during these past few months, and he asked me if I would like to present film again in Iași. I said I would be blessed and grateful. And he said, we are planning to make a festival. And when he told me about it, I was like, wow, it's great to have something like that on Balkans. And I think it can be really huge thing in a whole region. And of course, I gave my full support. Even I helped a bit in collecting and recommending some of the films. Mm-hmm. And I'm really glad that I'm here again, and that it's happening actually, and that it has that there is interest for the festival, and I really think it will grow in the future years much more, and that we will be coming back and having a new young artists and filmmakers who will bring not only Orthodox or Christian stories, but all the humane stories that we need today so much.
You have contributed 3 films to Quo Vadis Film Festival, but as you said, you are already known somehow to the local audience through Across in the Desert. So let's talk a little bit about Across in the Desert. This is a film about the life of Saint Paraskeva. What motivated you to create such a film, given that it's not of an interest for a wide audience after all?
Well, my personal motivation is connected to the fact that the film is based on a novel written by my mother. And that novel was written 22 years ago. And I've been living with that story for a long time in my conscience and subconscious. We are personally connected as a family and we really love Saint Paraskeva. And I always wondered, is it possible to tell her story in a way, in any artistic way other than writing about it? And when I was on studies, I was second year of university. We were on a pilgrimage to Jerusalem, and I remember we were on a trip to Saint Caterina monastery in Sinai, under the Sinai, yes. And I woke up. I brought book again and read it there. And I woke up, came to breakfast with my parents and asked, "What do you think? Can we make a radio drama of this, like audio book, but more in a form of radio drama?" And they said, "Oh, it's interesting. What do you have in mind?" And I said, "I would like to actors, since book is written from the perspective of each character, like from the first point of view, and like a kind of a monologue." And I said it would be interesting to have various actors playing those characters and to bring that story to life with not only just like fine reading, but with acting and with music and sound effects, and really to try to recreate that soundscape of the story. And my parents supported me, and with the help back then of my really dear professor, who was he's huge director on a national radio, Serbian national radio, and he directed hundreds of radio dramas when they were popular in a way. So he was in a way a supervisor of the project, and I directed the whole novel as radio drama. And while I was working on it, I saw images in my head, and I thought, oh, this could be a really great film. When I heard actors speaking, and it felt so alive when you're listening to it. And but I said, okay, I'm a student. Maybe someday in my career I will be able to. I wasn't ready, obviously, not as a director, not or as a Christian or as a human being for such huge task. And I did a lot of stuff in the meantime. My debut film and some documentaries and short fiction films and various genres. And in 2016, when I was thinking what's going to be next, I thought, I asked my mother, what do you think that we should adapt novel Saint Paraskeva, Crossing a Desert, into the film? And she said, it's lovely, but I'm really scared. How are you going to do it? And I said, I have something in mind. Let me make first draft of the script and show it to you. And if you like the concept, then we can move on. And I went to we have a small house in a village. I went there and I went there for 2 weeks and finished the first draft of the script really quick. And I really felt, now I know from this perspective that it was with help of Saint Paraskeva. And as I like to say now, it's not my film, it's her film. I just directed it. And I really felt during the whole process, my mother really liked the concept of the film and what I chose to focus on from the novel, because to make a whole so to make the whole novel into it should be TV series in a Hollywood budget, but I chose to focus. Actually, what was intriguing for me is how a common girl who loves God, who comes from wealthy family, and who survives in a way tragical incident, losing her sight and regaining it again, decides to spend the rest of her life alone in a desert, fighting sins and inner demons and temptations, and how she became actually a saint. Because when we talk about saints, we are thinking, those are some beings on heaven, they look over after us, we pray to them, they are in a way our connection to the God and our role models, but we forget that they were people. They were humans just like us, just much more devoted to their aim, and their aim was to be more Christ-like and closer to God. And their sacrifice was much more than we do nowadays. But as I like to say, the humans 2,000 years ago and today are same. Mm-hmm. The values are same. We know what's wrong, what's right. Everything that's written in 10 Commandments or like 7 sins or 7 virtues, that's basically the whole, everything we need to know. We don't need to know high theology in order to know what's wrong and right. And that was a challenge for me to depict how her struggle brought her where she is today, and why everyone in this region likes to call her our saint. Some will say she's Romanian because, of course, her relics are here. Some would say she's Bulgarian. Some would say she's a Greek. We say it's Serbian. So, and it's lovely, because so many people are connected to her, and so many. I heard a lot of testimonies about miracles that happened to the people, and from also in my family happened a lot of interesting stuff connected to Saint Paraskeva. So I think that in a way I'm blessed. I felt that call. Also my family. So we did book for kids. We did a novel. We did a film. We did a radio drama. We just didn't do a theater play and a cartoon, I think. And that's something that I might do in the future. Why not?
Okay. How did you do the documentation for the film, more precisely?
Okay, so yeah, that was the really serious question that I didn't think of when I was making a film, because the film is, of course, based on novel, and novel is based on the life of Saint Paraskeva, like in a script, her biography, which in Serbian version of the film, she's much older than in Romanian version. In Romanian version, she left the desert when she was 20 something, and she came back maybe like a couple of years later, and she died younger than in Serbian version. And I didn't know about it. That Mr. Jekyll pointed out when I sent him the film to see it, because we got of course blessing from Serbian Patriarch and Serbian Orthodox Church, and from Jaši Metropolitan, and I didn't know that there were two versions actually. Yes, and but the essence is the same. And when I was actually what was the most intriguing part for the novel and for the screenplay is in the our Saint Bishop Nikolai, one of the biggest minds, Orthodox minds in Serbian Church. He was written. He wrote actually for a lot of saints. He wrote their about their lives. And what's written in Saint Perskeva's, it's beside biographical things. They said, oh, she spent many years in desert, and how it was, how she felt. Only her and the God knows, and that's it. Just like 3 sentences, but that was the essence. Actually, how she became the saint. Those 3 sentences where you have nothing. That's the movie. Movie is about that, and of course, from the experiences from holy fathers, from other ascets and hermits and monks who lived in various places in the world, especially I don't know, Jordan Desert, or in Palestine, or also like in for example Mount Athos and so. So we, in a way, collected and from the like biography from Mary, the Egyptian, and Saint Mary of Egypt, and various female saints. In a way, my mother firstly, and then I combined it for that experience that Saint Perskeva could and probably went through, because those struggles are universal. Mm-hmm. So in a way, also we were based on the St. John's script about how it's called, steps to the ladder, yeah, which is like one of the basic fundamental basics for the ascetic life, and that was inspiration for me in approach how to deal with it. And the major difference between novel and movie is, in a novel the devil is male and he speaks as male. In the film, I wanted to keep that in a way that it's played by female, but she speaks as in a male gender in a way, and she constantly changes her form. She's also an animal. She's also like a hermit from a desert. She's in a way, I don't want to spoil everything for the audience, but she changes so she can be in various states in a way, because that the devil does actually. He is sometimes something that looks very beautiful and that we like. There can be it can be trap and the temptation for us. So in a way, those were things that I were inspired by, and I try to somehow fit all of that into the film, and I think that we succeeded in that.
Yes. So what does it mean for you to organize such a film festival in the city, which is the home of Saint Paraskeva?
It's amazing. Last year when we had premiere in Metropolitan Hall, I was feeling so blessed because we're showing the film about Saint that we love so much, and she's 50 meters from us, and it's I don't know, it's like you're at her home, and it's really amazing. And I think that we can't. I think none of the premieres in the world that I will attend in the future with my friends can match with that. Yeah, it's something really extraordinary. I mean, of course, I think I will never make film like this again, because you cannot like copy paste those things. because a lot of people after watching film ask me, "Oh, will you do the film about saying this or saying that?" Or I said, I'm doing from like what I felt and from my love to the Saint Parasceva, and I really think that nothing can match that feeling. And having Orthodox, not only Orthodox, but film festival here, I think it's really important, not only for Iași, where it's, as everybody knows, it's really cultural, really long tradition and cultural city, really important for Romania, and I think for a region in a way. And there's a lot of universities, a lot of young people, students are here. I think it's really important for them to have the opportunity to watch films on the topics that are they're talking about values that are a bit lost in today's world.
And about freedom this year.
Yes, this year it's freedom, and I think it's on many layers. It's really, in a way, symbolic, because we live in a world where the freedom is an agenda in a way, or propaganda. But I think there is, I mean, from day to day, it's less and less freedom for individual, and especially for artists, because we can talk about what is artistic freedom in a way. What can we, or we should, or we cannot do. Of course, I'm not talking about censorship from outside. I'm talking about ethical, ethics and aesthetics that we had discussion on our first day of festival. Yeah, so in a way, I'm thinking that freedom is a really tough word these days, because not only in political, social, and religious way, it opens. It can be Pandora's box in a way, and it can open, road to chaos and anarchy, because everything can be declared as act of freedom. Yes, and even that's one of the fundamental things about Christianity. What's the free will? What we can or we cannot do, or what we will or not. So I think that in that sense, it's great to have the first festival with that topic of freedom. And I think that we as artists should really think about it, because we, especially if we are Orthodox Christian, we have obligation in a way. Responsibility for what are the messages that we send through the mass media as it's film. Film is something that can reach millions of people much easier than books, or maybe music is easier to reach, but films are really powerful, because that combination of image and sound and how it resonates with the viewer. It's
and the network of distribution, which
yes,
is also quite
yes. So it's something that's in today's world where we have so many negative things every day. We are bombed with as soon as we wake up and look at our phones. I think there's nothing beautiful there. I mean, there's a lot of bad stuff in the news, around us, when we walk out the street. And everything I think is made such that we are constantly scared and lost. And in that chaotic daily routines, we cannot focus on what's matter. And the matter is what brings us peace and harmony in ourselves, and prayers. And it's really great said in one of the films I've seen, said we do not have saints for glorifying themselves. We have saints to remind us that when we read about their lives every day, we have some different saint, and when we read about their lives, we can see and connect what's common with our lives, and how we can be better, and we can be inspired, and those saints can be role models for us, and we can say, okay, if they could do it in much more worse times before, then maybe I can do it today. And it's in a way reminder, and I think that that's why important to have festival with films that talk about these topics.
On a more personal note, how did you start directing films?
That's easy one. That's easy because since I was a kid, I loved acting. I loved cartoons and then films, and I'm also into music and photography and writing. And the only job that can combine all of those things is cinema, I think, because it's multi-layered and multidisciplinary job. So in a way, that's how I was in elementary school when I thought that I never wanted to be an actor, and so I wanted to be behind that. I was fascinated by creating your own world in a way, like when I was a little kid, since I don't have any siblings, I'm the only child, and I spend a lot of time alone playing with toys. And I remember I had the Lego sets, and I never wanted to create what's meant to be made. I always created something myself, and I even made a theater play for my parents where I was alone and then just talking some nonsense. But in a way, this job, beside working with you have set with 100 people there, majority of directing is actually done before you step on the set and before you start working on film, because from the idea to writing the script, doesn't matter if you write it alone or with somebody, but usually it's solitary. It's a solitary job, and then you film it, and then you're again in a editing room, probably alone or with editor. Yes, and then you're in post-production, and then the film comes out, and you're like, oh, okay, let's move on. Let's go to the next one. So in a way, yes, the road from the idea until reaching the audience is really long. Yes, but it's rewarding and satisfying in a way that I think nothing can match. From my perspective, of course, there are other jobs and people enjoy various challenges. But for me, that I like the process, and of course, I like sharing what's made with viewers. Films are made for viewers. I'm not making just for myself. But in a way, we should be aware that all the criticisms and all the awards and everything like that, it's actually less important. And we should focus on the process itself and the final result and impact that it will make to maybe if there is only one single audience member or millions of people who will see it, we should really care about what about ethics of our job.
Mm-hmm. So if you were to summarize in a few words the mission of the cinema nowadays, what would you say?
Well, I love when people are arguing what is cinema, what's not cinema, and I really think that people should understand not every film or movie is made to be art piece, and it's okay. It shouldn't be. Like not every song is something that will last for centuries, and in a way, artists, everybody who made art. However, it might be even ugly, but it's still art. I think that artists should know what he wants to do. Why is he doing that? Is it like commercial success, or it's like, I don't know, some kind of he want to be a celebrity, or he want to, I don't know, make propaganda, or he want so. Why are you doing something? For whom? What's your audience? And after that, how will you do it? And I think that's mission from my perspective as somebody who tries to make something that makes sense. And I don't want to preach through my work. I want just to ask some questions that I ask myself, and that probably audience ask themselves as well. And maybe I won't have any answer, but I think that art must provoke something in it should touch the audience member. It should touch your soul. It should create emotion in yourself, and you should ask yourself, am I worse or better after watching this? Yes, and that's, I think, the point of cinema today. And of course, I enjoy Mission Impossible 8 and 2 hours that I will spend just thinking of nothing and watching a film that I don't expect to change anything in me, but in films like this, what I'm trying to make, I really hope that audience will be touched and somehow changed.
Okay, we look forward to your next films that will touch our souls.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for this podcast.
Thank you.
Thanks.